Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and in this video, we're actually going to be checking out a truck that we haven't driven, for one, in a very, very long time, and two, this truck is pretty much one of the gnarliest truggies you could ever run. Now, a lot of people would probably say that it's not a truggy, quote-unquote, because it's maybe, they would consider it too big or just overall too long or whatever the case may be. But with the truggy cage, it takes on a truggy-ish resemblance, let's say. And so what I've decided to do is I've decided to bring it out here to TNB Trails because I've never done this before, and I want to see if it can, frankly, hang with some of the smaller trucks and take on some of the trails that they do. And just so y'all know, in case you would like to use this truck for yourselves on this exact same map, it is available on pretty much all consoles. However, I would double check mod.io just to make sure. Now, without any further ado, let's fire it up and get it onto some trails and see what it's like to drive. It does have one of the coolest startup sequences I've heard in quite a while, and every time I go back to this truck, I always love the startup sequence. It absolutely gets me every time. Also, don't know where I was going with that sentence. No clue. I will say, with the length of it, the rear steer helps so much. And honestly, it's kind of just floating through here like it's no big deal. I know these aren't necessarily the tightest of trails just yet, but they get a lot tighter as you get a little bit further down. No! Okay, we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of a rollover mulligan because I'm just going to be completely upfront with the fact that I was not fully paying attention, nor did I realize that it dipped down that much on that side. God, this rear steer is helping me so much. If we didn't have rear steer, this thing would probably not be anywhere close to the level that it is right now, especially in terms of capability. Come on, come on. God, this thing just absolutely eats up the miles. I know we haven't really gone all that far yet, but the only thing that I'm particularly worried about is getting this thing high-centered, because if we get it high-centered, it's gonna have a bad time, especially since it's so big, so heavy, and frankly, just so monstrous that it's gonna be hard to get it out of a jam if we do get it into one. But that's kind of a we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, or if we get to it kind of scenario. Just a little bit further along now, and we should get into some much tighter stuff. All right, so let's see. We can either go left or right. Going to the right starts to kind of wind us up around this way, which actually is an alternate way to get up here, which normally I go this way, like up the Cascades, but I never take the trail on this side. So I think, you know what? We're gonna go for it. We might as well send it. I've never taken, for one, I haven't been down this trail in so long that I have no idea where it goes, and for two, I've never taken this truck on anything even remotely this tight, so it's gonna be interesting. I, for one, would love to see what would happen when you get like a group of these together, like 3 or 4 of them on a really tight trail. Oh yeah, it's already getting to the point to where I'm having to be extra conscious of whether or not the axles are hanging over the edge. Although I'm not gonna lie, it's cruising. Thing is wild. It's just a limo crawler. I'm shocked. Like, frankly, I am so insanely shocked that this thing is just powering up these hills without issue. Easy. The only times where it gets a little sketchy are, see, like right there, if I get it to a position where it's kind of precarious or it's kind of teetering on the edge of rolling over, it's, it starts to get sketch. It starts to get a lot more sketch than you might think. Let me see if I can get it around this corner. This corner I'm going to actually put it in low for rather than low plus. And I may even need low minus or max low, whatever you want to call it. Oh. Okay. Easy. I'm not really too worried about body damage. I mean, body damage is just gonna happen. Body damage is inevitable when you take something this big on a trail this narrow. I mean, you even expect that when you're wheeling a full size. This is like full size plus. Come on. So long as I can get it up this notch without having it roll over on me, I'll be kind of actually in a fairly good position. Come on. Oh my God, I'm just gonna stick with it. No freaking way. I genuinely didn't think it was gonna get around that corner. And honestly, the only reason I just completely stopped talking for a second was because I didn't expect it to even make it up that hill. But like, not only the fact that it made it up that hill, but the fact that it has made it this far entirely blows me away. I mean, you know what? We're just gonna park here. We're gonna park here. We're gonna have lunch. It's fine. We're just gonna like get out and stand under it and get a photo. Do you have any idea how like incredibly dangerous that would be? Like standing here? Like that would be probably the most dangerous place you could possibly stand. But like, you know, I mean, I guess if you need to make some trailside repairs, you don't even need to lift it up. You just drive it up onto a rock. I mean, there you go. Do your oil change. Well, the oil change I probably wouldn't do like that because it's at such an angle that you probably wouldn't even be able to capture all of the oil out of the oil pan. Come on. Almost there. And God, I cannot believe, I mean, that rear steer is so well tuned. It is so well set up that normally, I mean, anything even half this length, but like of this tire size and height would be either just plowing off of the edge or not even be able to make it around these corners in the first place. But that rear steer is so well tuned. I know I keep going back to that, but it's like, that's exactly why this thing is able to do the stuff that it does. It does get a little sketchy though when you start to like slide off of the edge of something. Come on. Oh, you're fine. Almost there. Just a little bit. And it literally, so long as you just stay super conscious of where you're at and stay very, very aware of where that front axle is, it's solid. It's actually more than solid. It's just consistent. That's the biggest thing I notice about this truck is like, even though it might not have, that was a close one. Even though it might not have as much flex as some of the other vehicles in its class, I mean, it is so consistent that you can always expect it to basically do the exact same thing while you're driving it. I mean, it is so solid and so sure-footed. I think sure-footed is actually probably the best way to describe it. That spot got me, though. That spot is sketch. Almost made me just go careening off the edge. Are we literally about to just crest this mountain? Oh, come on. No way. I didn't realize this trail was this short. Like, to be brutally honest, I did not in any way realize this trail was this short. I thought this trail was way longer than that. You know, since we are already up here, and since there is, well, a gigantic valley in the distance, you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna back up and send it. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I think in this scenario I probably should. I just don't have any run-up room. So essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we can make it back down to the bottom. And, well, it's not gonna be consistent for one. It's gonna be a tumble the whole way down. And once we get down there, we're just gonna see if we can start it back up again. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm in reverse. Send it. Beans, come on. Oh my God. You know what? Oh, that was almost a bullseye. We almost like speared the front of the truck completely into the ground, but no, it did not make it all the way down the Cascades. I really wish that it had, because if it had, well, I don't know, it would have been a more dramatic ending to the video. But if y'all enjoyed this one, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see y'all next time.